ball gets in, another wide open three.
Pierre Cardin.
Defers to Booker for the long range.
P-H-O-E-N-I-X. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. P-H-O-E-N-I-X. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing.
Welcome, everybody, to the Aussie Suns Fans podcast. I am your host, Gavin. And, of course, we are joined, as always, by our favourite duo. We'll start with Nate while Boyd settles some things down. But, Nate, our favourite Singaporean, how are you doing, my friend? Singaporean-Australian. I probably went a bit early there on the...
I'm trying to... Yeah, it is early here. That's why I'm actually drinking coffee for the first time on this show. But got my Vegemite mug. Got my Australian jersey on. I was going to wear my Baines jersey today because I heard there was a really, really awesome article written on Aaron Baines this week, but I just stuck with my Aussie jersey.
You're not going to I know you're off to Manila this week. We know the issues that the Boomers had
in 2 hours
against the Gillers. You're not going to wear that jersey in the Philippines, are you? You might have kung fu kicks and chairs being thrown at you.
No. I think they're over that now.
And
like
of course,
I've said before, the best thing about going to the Philippines is definitely the basketball, because you walk into any bar and NBA TV is on any TV in any bar, so you can always watch ball over there, which is good. See how it started the season.
Do love their basketball, and of course, everyone's favourite piece of shite. Boyd, how are you, my friend?
Yeah, good, mate. I'm riding solo with 5 kids today, and I've only got one with me at the moment. But yeah, I'm really happy with that Lakers game for the most part. And mate, I'm 1,000% ready to get into this regular season. Thursday.
If you read the agenda instead of being half-assed and non-prepared, you'd know we're going to talk about that very shortly. Anyway,
Gavin, I didn't say that we weren't going to talk about it. I just fucking wanted to say it then, if that's okay, buddy.
I clearly just made it clear that it wasn't. Anyway, if you are on, hit the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the subscribe, all that sort of shit. Follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter/X. Follow me at Aussie Suns Fans, Boyd at Boods83, and Nate at Nicky's Falcon. Get around it. And Stephen, yes, we do believe that we're popular enough to go live without any notice because you're here commenting in the chat. There we go. Let's have a bit of a talk about what Boyd led us into. Pre-season, look, we're not going to go into too much detail about each of the individual games. What I want from you, gentlemen, right now is we'll start with you, Boyd. What excited you about the pre-season, and what left you a little bit concerned?
Hey, not much left me concerned. Go to Nate first. Hang on, mate.
Nate, what excited you about the preseason, and what left you a little bit concerned?
Well, it's probably the same answer for both, to be honest. And I did say last week that the exciting part of our preseason, because I don't put any weight on it, is seeing the young guys get some minutes. So we saw a lot of burn from the young guys, and we've used that word a lot. There's a lot to be happy about with obviously our 2 big picks, Ryan and also. But at the same time, watching the overtime against the Lakers, these guys reminded us that they don't close out games. I mean, we spent a whole last season watching the Suns suck at closing out games, or at least the season before they got better. But watching that overtime against the Lakers was painful. So making sure that the guys that get their minutes, that get their roles from our new youth, get them at the right times and not in closeout. There's a little takeaway from me.
Very good,
Come on,
Nate.
mate.
Boyd,
Yeah,
Boyd,
so
what excited you and what are you concerned about?
what excited me was the increase in 3-point shooting, the ball movement, and not just any normal ball movement, just getting it up the court in a timely fashion. None of the CP3 staggered stuff, and then the way that the ball was swinging around the perimeter, and it was okay, not quite a good shot, one pass, two pass, all that. What I really like is that there was, when we had our top squad in there and we had our main guys there, we saw that gravity that we've been talking about for the last year and a half. It feels like that we haven't really seen, because it's been a lot of ISO ball and not much foresight into what was around them and plays being run. It just felt like it was the way that we thought it was going to be all that time ago, and it's just been really nice. And we saw it fire on all cylinders there for some patches. And man, I just fucking loved it. Now I don't have any negatives, Gavin. I don't have any negatives. Maybe there was a moment in the Lakers game when I thought, why isn't Bradley Beal? And yeah, he found himself in the teeth of the defense, taking some not so great shots, and he missed a few, right? But I started thinking to myself, why are you doing this? Just go back to what. But then I thought he was playing a lot more into with the bench as well, more so than the other guys. I felt they were sort of incorporating him into that second lineup a little bit, which I thought may have added to that element, and that's why possibly it was looking like that. But nothing, man. Look, our rookies look great. I think Dunn's a lot further along than what Osso is at the moment. He would have been a little bit frustrated, I think, fouling out. But I think our expectations of Ryan Dunn have just gone fucking through the roof after his fucking shooting the other day, and we forget that he's doing shit that we see 10-year elite defenders in the NBA do. He has never played an NBA game yet, and he fouls out, quite quickly. But that should be fucking expected. But everyone freaks out a little bit. But I was about to freak out about it, but no, let's not fucking freak out about it. We're good. So yeah, look, I'm fucking good here. We're good in the West here, man. I'm fucking happy.
Yeah, it was. Look, the whole preseason there was some really good signs for me. Number one, as you mentioned, Boyd, the ball movement. The ball movement this year automatically started to seem a lot more positive. The turnovers were reduced because we weren't stuck in that ISO. Kevin Durant wasn't trying to out-dribble people from the top of the key. I love the fact that we saw more Durant coming off a screen and hitting a shot without a dribble. I think if we see a lot more of that from KD, he's going to get a lot more looks. Tyus Jones, for me, is the standout of the preseason. I'm really excited about what he's going to bring. Not only the fact that he protects the ball and controls the ball, his outside shooting was really strong. He knows when to penetrate. He utilizes the ball really well. He might already be, outside of Devin Booker, my favorite player on the Suns for this season moving forward, because he stood out. The rookies, I'm just going to temper.
Didn't want a point guard.
Yeah, no, I didn't say I didn't want to. I said you don't need one. I'm going to temper my expectations on the rookies a little bit at this point, because it was just preseason. Even though Ryan Dunn's defense, whether it's preseason or not, I think is a really, really nice. That he set the expectation and the bar of where he's going to be over the course of the season. And I think it's clear now, well, from my aspect, I think it's clear that he's ahead of Okogie now in the rotation. He'll pick up those minutes first and foremost. And if he can keep hitting those outside shots, he's going to maintain that. Oso, I agree with you, Boyd. We're not going to see a heck of a lot of minutes, I don't think, from Oso. But I certainly think we're going to see him in the rotation before we see Bol. So for me, that was the exciting parts of it. My only real concern is still the rebounding piece. I still think we got out-rebounded and gave up far too many second opportunities and even third opportunities to opponents during the preseason. So I hope they can address that over the course of the next week before we come up to the first game. But overall, I think the feeling, I don't know about you guys, but the feeling I've got out of the Suns fan base and the feeling I get personally is this is a completely different feel to last year. Last year, we were optimistic that the Book, Beal, and Durant thing would work. And if it did work, we would be an amazing team. This year, it actually feels like, okay, there's a standard that's going to work, but it's the pieces around that are going to lift us up into that next echelon. And people, I feel, are a lot more positive about this squad heading into the season. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't understand why everyone's shitting the bed about Bradley Beal after preseason. Like, there was so much chatter about him having a terrible game in Lakers at the preseason game. Like, who cares? I'm with you, Gav, on this one. It's the season starts in 5 days, so that's when you start forming your opinions. And I'm gonna touch on that with my flog of the week as well.
I honestly, bar that last game against the Lakers, and game to game in the previous 4, his numbers were comparative to Booker and Durant's in the sense that he's third on the list, right? If you think about it, bar that one aberration of a game, we'll call it. It's just. I feel like the Suns Twitter fans need something to fucking wail on if they're having a bad day. And it's going to be the biggest contract that we have on the books. And it's going to be the guy it's going to be him. He's in the perfect fucking crosshair for a Suns fan.
He could dominate for a month straight and average 25, 7 and 7 and have one bad game, and he is going to get thrown under the absolute bus.
He will. But
he's our new DeAndre Ayton.
He moves, and he shouldn't be badly shouldn't be. He moves so much off of the ball and puts himself in a lot of positions. And I don't think the Suns fan base or the Beal haters are going to fucking be able to believe their eyes when they see now that we have the pieces and all them auxiliary pieces that can put the fucking pumpkin in his hands at the right time when he's fucking flying around that court looking for back cuts, setting off screens and whatnot. He fucking does a lot of shit that doesn't come up on a stat sheet that helps everything else, and he's going to eat a bit off it too. So I think there's nothing to worry about there. We're good, man.
Even his stats though for 30 minutes in that Lakers, remembering it's preseason, 13 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, and a block, and people were shitting the bed about it.
I think the biggest problem in the Lakers game, and I don't disagree with a lot of people, he was frustrated in that game and his body language was poor. He missed a lot of shots that he should have hit. And I get it. I agree with you. It's preseason and all that sort of stuff. But with the volatility of the fan base and what we're going to hear, Beal can't afford to have a game where the body language is bad, because that's what we saw in that last playoff game. Right, poor body language, and that's what sticks in people's minds.
And that's fair enough. Yeah, he wears his heart on his sleeve, and I think it's great. I don't see it as him throwing toys out of the cot, though. I see it as him being frustrated and wanting to get better. He's being accountable. He's holding himself accountable. Now, if that's portrayed as in like he's pissy, I don't think he directs it at anyone on the team. It's all internal with him. And he's come from fucking spending like 12 years at Washington, or 10 or 11 years at Washington, D.C., being the only resource that they pretty much had for the most part of being able to fix anything or score points or anything. So fucking forgive him a little bit if he's trying to get himself out of a rut and he takes it right into the fucking teeth of 2 or 3 guys and he misses one. Like, we'll give him some leash, I think, for a little bit. Or I will anyway.
Yeah, no, it's a good call. I know, and you will, but it's exactly like you said, Boyd. There's a lot of the people in the Suns fan base that won't. But as long as his output means wins, I really don't care. I'm not going to sit here and speak ill of Bradley Beal's output if it continues to spread the floor, he continues to put up. I'm happy with 15, 5 and 5.
I've got a hot take for
as
you,
long
Gav.
as he's got it. As long as he's got it at the other end and he's playing that defensive role as well. Yes, go Boyd.
I've got a hot take for you. You say you don't care, but I think you do care. I think you care a lot, Gavin.
Okay. I don't.
You're
how do I
guy.
care? What do you mean? I am a
He's
caring
blowing
guy.
kisses
Thank
at the same time.
Thank you, Boyd. I am a caring
You're
guy.
a carer.
Yeah, I won't. That's a different level of caring, though, Boyd. It's I won't care if he has some down games because he's a bit older. He has had injuries. We all know it. I don't mind if he has a down game here or there, as long as he's still contributing to wins overall. I'm not going to get down on Bradley Beal over that. I'm not going to sit here and abuse the shit out of him.
Touche.
So during the week, we had the last couple of days, we've had a couple of pieces of news. Number one, Kevin Durant Shams Charania came out and said Kevin Durant is not going to sign his extension. He signed through to 25-26, but Monday's a deadline for Durant to sign a 1-year, $59.7 million deal, which would extend him for that 1 year. However, if he waits 1 year, if he waits till next summer, he can sign a 2-year extension worth $120 million. I think it's pretty obvious that KD's going, well, you know what? I'm back to form. I'm flying. I'm not injured. I can get through this season and I can make 60 mil a year, which is another 300 grand, which is probably nothing to him, but doesn't matter. He's going to get a higher contract with a longer term. But is there anything to be concerned about the fact that he's not going to sign an extension there, Boyd?
Oh, look, no, there's nothing to be concerned about at all. I mean, yeah, you're right. Ultimately, he's a guy in his mid to late 30s, and he's in a position where he can guarantee himself an extra year's salary, or an extra.
He's 36, right?
Yeah, 36. Yeah, about 36, Gav. You're the
something
age
like that.
Something like that.
Am I?
I think he'll still be worth the contract, even if we do after next season have him for another 2 after that. So, mate, if he wants to guarantee it for himself, he is getting a little bit older, so he could fucking have like a bad injury, and it could work really well for him in his back pocket if he's guaranteed that shit for an extra amount of time. So, good on him. And the best thing to take from this is that he wants to be here long term, and all them fucking little squirrels talking shit about him, wanting out are just sort of fucking, they're just the little fucking squirrels.
They're squirrels. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 1 year extension before the 24-25 season began was the maximum length the Suns could offer the 36-year-old because of the over 38 rule. So, yes, he's 36.
Cool.
Nate, thoughts?
The headline would be nothing to see here. It's just simple management. He gets, do you want 1 year or do you want 2 years? Do you like it in Phoenix or do you want to get the fuck out? Either way, it's a lot easier to do with a 2-year contract than it is with a 1 year extension. So anything that keeps him here for a bit longer.
Also, it's more money because the cap increases year in, year out, right?
That's true too.
So he's going to get a higher percentage of a larger number over them.
I mean, the guy's going to get that anyway in that year. It's just a matter of whether he wants to lock it in. So, I mean, look, that's just simple management. I'm not concerned at all. And I think it's good. I'd like to see Durant and Booker kept together for a few more years so we can maybe make a run at a few cups,
Particularly the way KD's playing, hey? Happy Day Cups?
Big cups, baby. Big cups.
And NBA Cups, mid-season
NBA,
tournaments.
Mid-season tournament cups.
Let's get them cups.
Let's hang that rafter from the banners.
Ooh,
the banners from the banner from the rafters.
No, let's go that first one. Let's go the first one, Gav. Rafters from the banners.
Rafters from the banners. Oh, we also heard this morning or overnight that our dear friend Frank the Tank Kaminsky has been waived. He will not fill the 15th roster spot, despite everyone going, yay, he's going to fill the 15th roster spot. No, he's not. He was never going to fill the 15th roster spot.
What
He
did I
came
say to you
into
last
training
week?
camp. I just don't get it. I don't get where Suns fans get all this Frank the Tanker was going to play. I love Frank like everybody else, but there are far better options out there for that 15th roster spot. Surely, Boyd.
Yeah, mate. Look, I think it was a couple of weeks ago when we potted and we talked about what we do with that 15th roster spot, and I doubled down on the big group pod that we did as well. But yeah, I think it's moved. One of them middling contracts are moved on, and we just keep that there in case we want to get two pieces back. And yeah, maybe some draft capital or something like that to add some meat onto our war chest's bones, if you will. Now, yeah, look, Frank wasn't going to be a massive game changer. He's got a special place in all of our hearts, no doubt. We all love the guy. But at the end of the and yeah, he is a stretch five, and he does suit what Budenholzer wants to do. But at the end of the day, he looked okay in preseason, but he wasn't.
He looked like Frank.
He just looked like just looked a Frank, but a little bit older than the last time we saw him.
Yeah,
which is
a little bit older Frank.
It was nice, and hopefully he's there again if there's a massive issue and we need to sign someone for another 10-day, and we can see him again. But he doesn't change any of our aspirations as far as a championship goes. And yeah, that roster spot, having that free, could help us a lot more now and in the future, I think.
Yeah, there's been some ideas floated about trade for a Kogi where we bring two players in and send a Kogi out and all that sort of stuff. But there's still players on the market, surely.
I've got a question for you guys around that narrative right there. Now, we've just talked about Ryan Dunn playing so well that he eats into a Kogi's rotational minutes. Yeah, it seems like it's happening. It's happening right in front of our eyes. Now, that's a great outcome. If Ryan Dunn does that, that's a fucking great outcome, and I'll take it. But if Ryan Dunn just keeps on progressing and staying in his lane, and we get ourselves in a position where we can give our friend Josh Okogie some burn, that $8 million contract, $8 or $8.5 million contract, will be much easier flipped at the deadline to execute what we're talking about before, is using that roster spot and using that Okogie contract. So look, I got one foot in both camps. I'm a fucking fence sitter, mate. I'm not going to be upset regardless. I'm not going to be upset regardless.
Yeah,
because
hot take.
There's a silver lining in both worlds, if that makes sense.
No, I don't disagree with you there. There certainly is I mean, Josh Okogie's been great. He's been a great servant already for the Phoenix Suns, and he's certainly not going to let us down if he gets on the floor. But they signed that contract to trade it, right? That's the let's call a spade a spade. They signed that contract with Okogie to give them trade flexibility.
That second year is non-guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
And that's shit nowadays with all these teams in such fucking really, really fucking tough financial positions and trying to stay under first, second caps, luxury taxes, all that sort of shit. That just adds value to that second year of that contract and the player that he is as well, I suppose. He can give you some production. You don't just have to waive him. So yeah, look, I think it's a good contract. I'm not going to throw any shit at it.
It's simply an insurance policy. When they sign it, they get the player. If they need him, use him. If they don't. If they can trade it, trade it. It's a win-win. Yeah. I'm just glad I used my beer with Frank last week.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember I said to you, it might be the last chance I get to have a beer with Frank. So I should have said my Lions because we won the premiership this year, but no, I use Frank and farewell, sir. Thank you for coming.
You too.
Again.
Yeah, thanks for popping in again, Frank, for 15 minutes. All of that stuff's great, but let's get into it. It's time for the real stuff, Nate. We've been waiting for it. It's been a boring ass freaking off season,
Not
But
really.
the
The
time
AFL's been
has
great.
come. Well, for some, the AFL's been great. For some of us, our team was right up there in the mix, and then completely tanked it towards the back end of the season. So it is that time of year. We are finally ready to kick off. And before we pod again next week, we are going to see 3 games of basketball.
What?
Before we pod again next week. We kick off the season on Thursday at 1 p.m. against the Clippers. Then we play the Lakers on Saturday at 1 p.m. And then we have a back-to-back on Sunday against the Mavericks at 1 p.m. For our American listeners, the times and everything that we provide is obviously Australian time. Melbourne time at the moment because of daylight savings. But 3 games, Boyd. Are you bloody excited? We're going to have 3 games before we pot again, and it's against 3 of the biggest cockbag teams in the fucking NBA.
so good. So good. Hey, look, I'm really excited about that. I've actually got the following week, I've got a trip down to New South Wales. So I'm glad that there'll probably be less games in that week, I'm guessing. A couple of 2-day breaks, no doubt. So, look, I'm pumped. I'm just pumped to see this first one. This first one is just going to be, again, it's just going to be the climax of what we've been wanting for all this time. And we've got a taste for it in preseason. And now it's all just going to explode in our faces. Yeah. What do you reckon?
Against the Kevin Porter Jr. Clippers.
Crescendo.
Because it's sure as shit ain't Kawhi's Clippers. He's fucking sitting his ass out again.
That's great. Hey, and I was who was saying it was Gerald Bourget was saying that we've got the Clippers like a whole bunch of times just in this early period where there's not going to be Kawhi. So it's fucking working for us there too.
I think 3 of our 4 games against the Clippers are in like the first couple of
2
months.
weeks. 2 weeks?
First
nice.
2 weeks, is it? Yeah, it might be a bit longer than that. But either way, that's fine. I don't look, even with Kawhi, I don't think the Clippers were any chance this year anyway. I thought they were probably outside of the play-in type team this year. But what's your prediction, Boyd, for this week? Clippers, then Lakers, then a back-to-back at home, our home opener against the Mavs.
I'll give you a W for the Clips because of, obviously, the Lakers. I'll give you a W there.
Were you not worried about Bronny?
I am worried about him. Yes, I am. Yes, Bronny scares me a lot. No. I'm more worried about having to watch him play basketball and just fucking just.
That's what scares me. That's what scares me worse. The fact that he might get on.
So I suppose that works for our desired outcome, I guess. But and the Mavs, I think, hey, getting them on a back-to-back out. That's our first home game as well. Yes, it is. That's our first. Yeah, it's our first.
It's our home opener.
What's cool about this is going to be a statement game. It's our first. We lost all of our preseason home games and we won all the away ones. And I think we're just about to we're going to flip the script and set a new narrative. And it's going to be like, holy fucking hell, how are the Suns doing this back to back? Mavs, Lakers, Clippers. It doesn't fucking matter. These guys are winning them all. Up you go.
Big fucking surprise.
Nate,
look,
what's your prediction?
Clippers game will win. We've spoken enough on that one. The Lakers game, I think it'll be a bit of a revenge game to show them the preseason was preseason. Now we'll show you what we've really got, even if they do add LeBron. So I'll give that one a W. I do want to note that I don't imagine you watched, but as you're talking about watching Bronny play, he played 35 minutes against the Warriors in the last preseason.
They were fucking 4 points down.
But 35 points is just fucking the points. 35 minutes, sorry. It's just
that's 17 points.
Ridiculous.
It's the most he'll ever score.
Yeah, that's probably the last time he plays more than 2 minutes this season. And then obviously, look, the Mavs. I think the fact it's the home opener the fact it's the fucking Mavs and the fact that we're going up first home game against the Western Conference champs, I think there will be a chip regardless of the back-to-back, which just adds to, if they win that game and decidedly beat the new reshaped Mavs with Klay Thompson, Western Conference champs, I just think, like you said, Boyd, it's a statement game. So I will even chalk that up as a win. When I'm going to look at when I'm looking at my wins and losses, I'm keeping in mind that the goal is 60 wins. So you can't predict the loss every week if you're going to get to 60. So this is one of those weeks where I'm going all W's.
Yeah, I'm with both of you here. I think that the Suns are looking at this first block of 3 games and going, if we want to make a statement on who we're going to be this year, these are 3 of the most important games we're going to have. And I really think we're going to kick this season off in style. The Clippers game, the first ever game in the new Clippers arena. So KD and Book are going to want to set records that can never be knocked off. Because we know Book loves a stadium record too. Without Kawhi, it's basically all we got to do is shut down James Harden and we're fine. Although there is always in those type of games that random dude that pops up. Who's it going to be? Kevin Porter Jr. or fucking Normie Powell? The Lakers game, again, the Lakers don't concern me. The biggest problem we've got with the Lakers is the Nurk versus AD matchup, because AD does like to stretch the floor and Nurk doesn't like to go out that far. So if AD catches fire,
run out, and then he miss it by like fucking 6 feet. Just didn't get there quick enough.
Can I?
AD, go.
No, just on that matchup that you mentioned, Nurk and AD. And you're right. It's preset in Nurk's mind with that bigger frame where he's not so quite as nimble as he is right now, not to even bother fucking contesting some of them. And I just thought that it was just more of a mental breakdown. I think he can get there. And I think
I don't doubt he can get there. I just don't think he wants to.
Yeah, no. Well, I just let him get used to his new frame, my man. He was very he was quite lateral.
He was very good.
Moving his feet good. Well and staying with guys, and I liked it. And I don't see why that can't stretch out. I think. I'm just concerned that he'll play the drop, and if AD does catch fire, he can put a lot of points on us. Look, in that game, AD had 35. Yeah. He had
35 points, right? So that to me can be a little bit of a concern because Nurk, he plays that drop. I think it's in his head now. It's the way he plays, and that's what he's going to do. So AD's not the ideal matchup for Nurk. But it doesn't matter because everything else, the other 4 positions on the floor, I think we're okay. The other thing is that AD played in that game without Bron. Now, Bron's not going to let AD stand there and have 14 field goal attempts in the first quarter.
LeBron will stifle the Lakers. They were better in that first quarter because he wasn't.
And the Mavs,
I'm running with
the Mavs. Look, I think you guys know I actually predicted the Mavs to finish first in the West. I think they're going to be a good team this year, but I think that the Suns will be out to make a statement here. After watching the preseason, though, as far as I'm concerned, that Nurk defense on AD, we should play that defense on Klay Thompson. Just let him have as many threes as he wants because he's fucking cooked, that dude. He can have every fucking shot. He is fucking no good. Finished. So we're all going 3-0 this week.
Yes.
Exciting.
I got a question for you, Gav. And Boyd. All right. When do you think the Lakers will first put Bronny and LeBron on the court together and make the show of it?
As soon as there's a break, and to be honest, my prediction on this, and I spoke to a couple of friends about this the other day, my prediction on this is that they will be 12-14 up or down before halftime in a game, and they'll bring him on in the second quarter. They won't bring him on in dead time for them two to play together for the first time. They'll bring him on in the second quarter to make a song and dance about it.
I think he plays in the first game, and I think it's in the second half. It won't be garbage minutes. I agree with that, Gav. They're gonna want to, because they don't want to water him down to look like he's a garbage minutes kid. But also, I think
Well, he's not. He's not even that good.
I think. Oh man, if you look at all the fucking social media posts about that 17 fucking point masterclass that he put on, you'd think otherwise, I tell you. But yeah. Look, I think it's the first game and it's in the second half, probably that third quarter.
All right. Last thing to wrap up the preseason. Who was your player of the preseason, Boyd?
I'm giving it
whether best player, most exciting, whatever it is.
No, just the excitement that Ryan Dunn has given the fan base, and my personal base. It's Ryan Dunn for me. And we've all seen the comparisons to Mikal Bridges, but I think defensively he might be better in the long term. Give him a couple of seasons. I think he's that type of a guy, and his shooting is just like absolutely nuts.
Pretty big call.
Now Bridges, was a good 3-point shooter. Don't get me wrong. He started off a bit slow, but he got there. Like, we could be seeing a leap in his shooting from college to his rookie year, which has been unseen, like not seen before, as far as my fandom goes with the Suns. So look, it's Ryan Dunn for me.
Gav, you said we're wrapping up this segment with this player of the week. What happened to stat of the week? You've gone off your own agenda.
Oh, no. So stat of the week is a brand new segment we're kicking off next week, which is going to be done by Boyd and yourself. You guys can talk about that. That's actually
I've got a stat for you. Anyway.
Yeah, I've got one for this week as well.
All right, you two can. Can we? But but technically though, Nate, you went early because stat of the week is actually listed on the agenda after player of the week.
You bastard, Nate! You're a fucking.
He said he was going to wrap the segment up. He said he was going to wrap the segment up.
I said wrap up the preseason. So technically, you're wrong.
Ryan
even though I was going to skip it.
A naughty boy, Nate. Naughty
Ryan Dunn. That's what I wanted anyway. Like, I told you it was about the youth, watching the youth play in preseason for me, and it was good to see we got our draft picks right.
For me, I mentioned it before. Tyus Jones. He's got me very excited about what's coming up this season. So, looking forward to seeing what Tyus can do. All right, gents. If you've got a stat for me, hook me up with your stat of the week, Boyd.
It's just a little one. So, for the preseason, our main focus and what everyone's eyes were on was the 3-point shooting. The attempts obviously were right up there. Started off really well, and just sort of tinkered down a bit when we got up to that fifth game. We were sitting around about that 40% mark from deep, shooting around about 40 per game, and we ended up shooting, I think it was 32% or 33% over the span of the 5 games. But I had a little bit of a deeper. I dunked my big toe in the water a little bit deeper, and I saw from where our starters were playing in the first, second, third, and not really in the fourth quarter at all. Our average percentage from deep in the first quarter was 42% or 31.9. Second quarter dropped down to mid 30s, and then what I saw was that fourth quarter, which was dominated by the bench, was we got right down to about 27%. So when you look at the 32%, we're going to be shooting 40 to 50 of these a game. It's not real because they're the guys that probably won't be playing much at all. Now, the real number that I like to look at and get excited about was that first quarter and the overall 42% that we shot in first quarters over the first 5 preseason games.
Very nice stat.
All right.
Nate, hit me up with your stat, Nate.
My stat of the week relates to last week's pod and your potential rookie of the year. The gentleman that you could not get the name right on the Suns Jam session post-pod, you called him Dylan Connect when it's Dalton Connect.
Oh, whatever. Fuck, he
But
plays
yeah,
for the
look,
Lakers.
that-
Who gives a fuck what his name is?
but it was against our team. But to watch, like, I had never really watched him before that game, and then thinking that you were, I messaged in our chat that I'm like, shit, you might be onto something here, Gav, with your call in last week's pod. 35 points, 7 boards, 1 assist, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 8 of 13 threes. Not bad for a rookie. So there has been some articles come out afterwards saying that performance too may have solidified him in the rotation on the Lakers rather than an afterthought. So we might actually get to see a lot of minutes with him on that team.
Is that your stat of the week, Nate?
Yeah, well, it's a preliminary one. I didn't really have it for that category, but it was there to talk about.
Boyd,
Okay.
Boyd, leave him alone. You fucking piece
Yeah,
of
fuck
shit.
off,
That
mate.
was
We
a
can
good
do your
stat.
segment next week.
That
I'll
was-
let you run with it.
That was a good stat. It was about confirming that I was right.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. We have
That's why I
to,
thought you might like it, Gav.
it's drilled into
Fuck her
our
up,
heads
bitch.
here on the Aussie Suns Fans podcast that anything that elaborates how good Gavin is a fucking good thing to do. All right, so
Exactly
You
right.
quit the pod too? What?
Oh, goodness. Gentlemen, we've brought it back. I have got a really easy one for you here. We got you two against the comments. I don't know how many are in the comments because we did notify everyone really late that we were going live. But we're going to do a bit of random Suns. And we've brought it back. Nate's fucking, that's it. He's quit the pod. He's fucking left the group chat and he's done everything
Fucking hate
else.
this segment.
This one today is really easy because I did do it really late. So it's a very easy one. 4 players, quick flash up. All you got to do is name the 4 players. When I ask the question, remember the rules. Oh, no, that's the other one. When I ask the question, it'll go up, write them down. We'll work out who they are. Are we ready, gents?
steady go.
Welcome to the valley, Phoenix Suns. 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 Chris Paul can't fall when the bomb a valley boy.
Well, I'll go 3 or 4 on this one.
3 or 4. Boyd, what do you reckon?
Well, I'm trying to.
You got 'em
When
all?
I was trying to type, I didn't see the last guy, Gav. Can I see the last guy
All right.
again?
Do you want to? I'll run it one more time. Here we go.
Welcome to the valley, Phoenix Suns. 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 Chris Paul can't fall when the bomb a valley boy.
Who was the first one, Boyd?
It was Gerald Green.
Best dunking son of all time.
It
Mr.
was Gerald Green.
The
Who was
only
number 2, Boyd?
Suns jersey I have with sleeves. Gerald Green.
Yeah.
That was KJ.
Nate, who was number 2?
Yes, it was KJ.
Yeah, the greatest son of all time. Who was number 3, Boyd?
I'm just trying to make sure. There was 1, 2. There was 4 in total. Yeah.
4 in total.
Okay, cool. Was that Amari Stoudemire?
Yes, it
Nate?
was.
It was Amari Stoudemire. And number 4.
Was it Tony something? I was totally stuck. I'm like,
Nope. Boyd,
go on, Blue. Yeah.
Troy Daniels.
it was Troy Daniels.
I knew
who
it started
played
with
a couple of
fucking T.
seasons with us. You did know it. Well, at least you got the T right. Well done.
you get a third of a point.
You get 1/3 of a point for getting the T for Troy. And yeah,
4-letter word
old
too,
Steve,
Tony. 4-letter word.
Steve in the chat said it was someone. Good answer.
Yeah.
I would kill everyone in this room for a drop of sweet beer.
So, Homer, please feel free to tell us anything.
Who do you want to have a beer with, Boyd?
Who do I want to have a beer with? Fucking Dizzy Gillespie, or even even Colin Gillespie as well. Yeah, give me some Colin. And here's the reason I want to have a beer with Colin. He's had some. He's fucking awesome, man. I still yet to see him do anything major.
It's the reason I want to have a beer with him. He's fucking awesome.
Hey, I was just taking a leaf out of Hamo's book. He's just incredible, right? He's just incredible. He's awesome. he's Marbo. He's great. Probably such a nice guy. But what I think, I'm yet to see him do.
Is that your
anything-
stats segment?
I'm yet to see him do anything really that really jumped out and thought that's a big red flag. Like, he seems to be really fucking good. He's just an undersized, and he's getting comparisons to Steve Nash, and he's getting comparisons
John
to
Stockton.
John
Come on.
Stockton, and a bit of a tough break for him. But so while I'm having that beer, I'm going to get him to piss on a stick or give me a little bit of his DNA, and he can piss on my foot if he wants. And I just want to see if he's maybe he's got two daddies, and maybe they come from a royal bloodline like Nash.
What the fucking hell? This is a dude on a two-way that's barely going to play. You've just basically masturbated over him on live YouTube video.
How many beers are you going to have with this guy that he ends up pissing on your foot?
I'll just say to him, I say, hey, mate, if you don't piss on mine, I'm pissing on yours. All right? They're your choices.
So you're exchanging DNA one way or another.
We probably won't talk again afterwards, but yeah, there's going to be some DNA. You might just spit in my face.
Look,
and I'll just have to take
So
that.
this is now we're going to spitting in the face. This is now a porn video.
Boyd, as long as there's no eye contact, it's not awkward. Nate, who do you want to have a beer with?
My mouth. Mate, I forewent my Brisbane Lions in the premiership last week so that I could have one last beer with Frank. I know it's not basketball related, and Boyd will hate me if I stick with that one. So I'm going to go stick with Australia and go Josh Giddey for pushing for his first $30 million a year extension. Hasn't happened yet, but that's what he's asking for. So let's see if that happens. He's put his best foot forward and he's going for the bag. Go, Aussie, go. Plus, if he gets that extension, he can pay for the beers and fly me over to drink them.
Very nice. My beer with this week is going to be big Aaron Banger Baines, who announced his retirement this week from basketball. Obviously, Phoenix Suns legend, equal record holder for most threes in a game for the Phoenix Suns, including one of the greatest, slowest step-back threes we have ever seen in the history of the game. Banger's not a good guy. I know that there was an article out there that said he was a delightful man. He's not. He's an asshole. But he was a Sun. He was he contributed for a few years there. He contributed beautifully to the Boomers. I'll have a beer with him for him to totally ignore me and treat me like a piece of shit. So because that's
really
exactly
good article on him this week. Everyone should try and catch that.
Yeah, the article did say that he was a really good basketballer and an even better bloke. And that's where I turned it off. And
apparently learned to play basketball again before he learned how to walk. But that's fine.
Yes, he did.
Good. It's in his core.
I'm going to play this drop because I still haven't worked out how to download the other one yet. But replace this. This is a different F word.
Time for the flog of the week. And trust me, they are ugly. Very unattractive. Google their face when you're done here.
You've been trying to replace that drop for months now? You still haven't done it.
No, I'll work it out when I actually get some time to sit down and do so. But Boyd, what person this week made you just sit back and go, "Fuck that guy"?
Well, fucking Hamo, but I know that we're not going to use that for this. It's no,
I've decided we can all go individual. So if you want to roll with it, you can roll with whatever you like.
Yeah, cool. Well, Hemo, because out of fucking nowhere, that cunt. For the people that don't know, Hemo used to be on our pod. Then he left us for greener pastures, and he asked to come on a couple of hours before the pod, and didn't get the response that he liked, and then fucking left our group chat and fucking deleted me off all his socials and fucking shit like that. Not a fucking word. Just being a fucking child.
That's what this show's got to.
Fuck you, Hamo.
Fuck that guy. Nate, who this week made you sit back and go, fuck that guy?
I'm going to take a higher road than that one. I'm going to go with Dan Favale or Dan Favale, however the fuck you say his name, doesn't matter. He did an article on Bleacher Report predicting every team's biggest controversy. And he narrows down on the Suns and says at least one disgruntled star. And he goes into talking about the big three. He makes a joke about we'll have a disgruntled star by game 2. And then he goes on to say, wouldn't it be a shock at the end of it, though? And he says, shock if it's Devin Booker. It's a lot of it's in jest, but fuck, I'm sick of reading negative shit before the start of the season.
That Dan Favale cunt, I think he fucks with the Timeline pod, the guys on there. I'm pretty sure I've heard his name referenced a fair bit there, and he goes on there a bit. But yeah, no, he's just a glorified fucking nerd, man. I wouldn't take what he says seriously. Fuck that guy.
You can't. How can you write a preseason article on every fucking NBA team picking apart the most miserable thing to look forward to for the year? What a negative fucking clickbait piece of shit.
That's a very good fuck that guy.
That's my fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy. So what's his name?
Dan Favale? Favale?
Dan Favale. Fuck that guy. I am going to give mine to LeBron James. LeBron, your son tried to take out the legs of a fucking Phoenix Suns player, deliberately ran under his legs, made him fall on his fucking head, and you went out to half court to tell the referees, but Bronny isn't a bad boy. He's really nice. That's not flagrant. Do you know who I am? You can't call that against him. Oh my God. I just sat watching that shit going, fuck that guy.
Fuck that.
Get the fuck out of the referee's face. You're not there to fucking hold his hand. He's in the NBA now. He's a grown man. Let him look after his own fucking shit, you little bitch.
Oi, that's that is gold. I was watching that thinking the same thing. Like, fuck, you don't see fucking LeBron getting up there for D'Lo or anyone else on a team and like with that much passion. And you know what I thought? I'm wondering to myself, are we going to get the refs putting out a fucking statement via the NBA saying that they're going to lose sleep over this fucking thing?
They called a flagrant on him. It really shouldn't have been because LeBron told us that it shouldn't have been. We also got the screen call wrong because LeBron told us that Bronny wouldn't have done that. He would have been standing still.
Yes, I told him to raise a hand on defense.
Get the fuck out of it. If you are going to spend your entire fucking season running around after Bronny for the 1.5 minutes of fucking game time he gets to make sure that the refs aren't going to be mean to him, I am seriously going to fucking lose my mind.
Hey, remember that meme? Fuck, I forget the movie, but it's the the one where it's like that was LeVar Ball sitting back watching that. The new LeVar Ball. The worst thing will be Leonardo DiCaprio. He sits there
when something like that happens and they're both on the court together, that is going to fucking infuriate people. Where Bronny gets a foul call or doesn't get a foul and LeBron fucking loses his mind over it. Seriously, mate, he's in the NBA now. He needs to be his own man. Stop being a fucking bitch. Leave it be. On that note, fuck that guy. Gentlemen.
Finished on a down to Debbie.
Why? That was up and about. We got to hang shit on LeBron. Isn't that the way a Phoenix Suns podcast should finish? Hanging shit on LeBron James.
He's making it too easy for
yeah, that's true. He made that one way too easy. I don't disagree with you here, Steve. That's fine. Listen, guys, we got 6 minutes left. If anyone in the chat wants to throw a question at us, go for it. Throw a question in. I'm sure we can answer it. But gents, anything else out of this preseason or for the up and coming season that you want to bring up now? Bring it up or forever hold your peace, Boyd.
No, I haven't got much, mate. No, not off the top of my head. Just wait till you're about to sign us all out, and then I'll go on a 15-minute rant. How about that?
keep us here for another hour.
Consistency, right?
Nate, All
Yeah.
right, let's just wrap up now, Boyd. Where do we find you? Last
me.
comments, all that sort of shit.
Find me at Buds83 or at Fucko on a mystery platform.
And you have a question in the chat. Which foot would you let Gillespie piss on, left or right?
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some scouting in this. I'm going to put my feet together and I'll say, hey, piss on the left, and I'll see how good his aim is. Because if he can fucking carry that on-court precision and accuracy over to his piss game after a few beers, man, he is a guy we need to max. We need to max that motherfucker. Yeah, so yeah, piss on me, Gillespie.
Nate, last comments.
At
Where do
Nicky's
we find
Falcon. Last comment's not a comment, it's a question. And I just want to get it in before the season starts. When we were looking at fantasy drafts recently, we look at the stats from both Booker and KD, and they pretty much had the exact same stat line average
They're
from last
identical.
season. Yeah,
they're identical.
So question is, does that separate this year? And if so, who ends up with the better stat line in fantasy? Booker or KD?
Yes, and Devin Booker for me. When in doubt, always pick the younger guy.
Ooh.
But I will go over the top of that with, I don't think it'll split that much.
Fair enough.
It'll still be pretty close.
I think it's KD just because he puts numbers right across the box score a bit better than Booker. So scoring wise, possibly Booker gets the better of him, but from an overall box score, I think KD's still got it. And a question out of the chat for you to start with, Nate, is Bol or Brad Beal the new DA?
Fuck, it's not Brad. Bol looked fucking atrocious in that Lakers game.
Boyd?
Oh, look, it's. I don't think it should be, but as we said before, it's Bradley Beal's getting all that DA fucking energy. Pretty much. So it's Brad.
In the fans' eyes, it's Bradley Beal. From on-court output, it's Bol, but only because Bol's fucking useless. And it's about time this fucking Suns fan base woke up and realised it. This dude is an end-of-the-bench player. Stop it. Just stop it.
You get Bol's name out your mouth, man. You leave him alone.
I will never, ever leave him alone until he is out of fucking Phoenix. For good. Follow us on at Aussie Suns Fans on YouTube.
Yes, Lizzie.
At Aussie Suns Fans on Twitter. Like, subscribe, do all that fun sort of shit that we like you to do. It was a fun show today, boys. We finally kept it under an hour. Thank you so much for that, because I know we've all got shit to do. We will be back next week. It will be a later show next week because obviously the Suns play the Mavericks at 1 p.m. We will probably allow the after games, the other after game pods to do their work, and then we will go live straight after those after game pods. So we're probably looking at about 4 p.m., 5 p.m. our time, my time next week. Gents, are you good for that?
We'll see.
A Sunday evening pod.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay with that.
Yeah,
it'll be just after we belt the shit out of the Mavericks.
Oh fuck yeah!
So we'll all be up and about and happy and all that sort of shit because the season's
I'll be
here.
rocking a tripod, man. I'll be on 3.
Come on, hurry up and keep it under the hour.
Look at it. We've still got a whole minute for that, mate. The regular season's here, people. We're excited. You're excited. Everybody's excited. And at the end of the day, we're not here to fuck spiders.
As Chris Paul gets in, another wide open 3.
Suns. Pierre Cardin.
Defers to Booker for the long range.
Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the valley, it ain't nothing but a thing.